Thom Yorke, the iconic frontman of Radiohead, has made a bold and emotionally charged statement that's sure to spark debate. He would absolutely not perform in Israel now. This comes 8 years after the band controversially played a show in Tel Aviv, defying calls from pro-Palestinian activists. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Yorke didn't just stop at saying no. He went further, declaring, "I wouldn't want to be 5,000 miles anywhere near the Netanyahu regime," in a recent interview with the Sunday Times magazine. This shift in stance raises questions about the band's evolving perspective on the complex Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The interview, conducted before the recent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, sheds light on Radiohead's upcoming tour, their first in 7 years, which kicks off next month with 20 shows across 5 European cities. However, even before the tour dates were confirmed, the Palestinian Campaign for the Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel, PACB, had already called for a boycott, citing band member Jonny Greenwood's 2024 performance in Tel Aviv. This isn't the first time Radiohead has found itself at the center of this contentious issue. During their 2016 to 2018 A Moon-Shaped Pool World Tour, the band faced intense backlash for their Tel Aviv show, despite boycott calls and criticism from cultural figures like British director Ken Loach. At the time, Yorke defended their decision on X, formerly Twitter, stating playing in a country isn't the same as endorsing the government. He pointed out that Radiohead had performed in Israel for over 20 years under various governments, just as they had in America, without endorsing leaders like Netanyahu or Trump. Yorke even criticized the pro-Palestine BDS, Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions movement, calling it patronizing in the extreme and offensive. But this is the part most people miss. In the new interview, Yorke hinted at regret over their 2017 Tel Aviv performance, revealing he was horrified when a high-ranking Israeli official visited their hotel to thank them for playing. This moment seems to have shifted his perspective, as he later described feeling in shock that my supposed silence was somehow being taken as complicity. He went on to label Netanyahu and his administration as extremists who need to be stopped. The band's stance on Israel has been a persistent source of tension. Last year, Yorke briefly walked off stage during a solo gig in Australia after a pro-Palestinian heckler shouted, "How many dead children will it take for you to condemn the genocide in Gaza?" This incident further highlighted the emotional and political weight of the issue. Meanwhile, Yorke's bandmate Jonny Greenwood, who is married to an Israeli artist, has faced his own share of criticism for his long-term collaboration with Israel-born musician Dudu Tassa. Interestingly, Greenwood joined protests in Israel in 2024, calling for Netanyahu's removal, adding another layer of complexity to Radiohead's relationship with the region. Greenwood told the Sunday Times that he spends a lot of time in Israel with family and is not ashamed of working with Arab and Jewish musicians. And here's where it gets controversial. Is Yorke's refusal to play in Israel now a principled stand against a government he views as extremist, or does it risk oversimplifying a deeply nuanced conflict? Does cultural boycotting effectively promote change, or does it alienate artists and audiences who could foster dialogue? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Radiohead's journey through this debate is a powerful reminder of how art and politics are inextricably linked, and how even the most thoughtful artists can find themselves at the center of a storm.